thing.
Go with the. Hold on.
My family calls me Bree and
This one.
Dina.
The throwback right there.
Oh,
Anchor arms. You guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
so cool. Trauma
oh wow.
hat. Just call me Breezy Bree.
I feel kind of left out, I guess. Now I should think of a cool nickname. Maybe halfway through I'll change it.
No, Joe, stick with me. I have a lame nickname too. Camaraderie.
All right.
We're the least experienced sailors, I think.
Andy only
Time-wise.
did 6 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andy.
guess how many years I did?
5.
4.5.
4.
Technically, we all did 8 as a minimum because you have your inactive reserve time.
Yeah, technically, but
So,
once that time went out, I got rid of pretty much all my uniforms.
so Chris is the CEO and I'm the XO then. Got
Right.
it.
Well, we got what if the Admiral Herschel
I'm
Mim?
definitely the least experienced because that was aviation too. So
All right, Sabrina, kick it off whenever, I guess, kick it off.
are we ready? We're live? Okay. So the movie we're going to review is called Better Watch Out. I'm going to start with a few statistics because that'll help us get into the mindset of this. I've got like 6 pages of notes in this little book, so just bear with me. Because, oh crap. Sorry. Okay. All right. So Better Watch Out came out, limited release. I found out there was only like 25 theaters that they showed this movie in, so it did not make a ton of money. October 2017. It's an hour 39 minutes long. It has a 6.5 out of 10 on an IMDb and an 89% approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. So not too shabby that way. But the budget for this movie was $3 million, shot in Australia, and the international box office for that first opening weekend was $188,756. In the US, it only made $20,369. So it did not make a ton of money. It did get released on DVD and Blu-ray and all that stuff right in December. So it didn't wait long, and it's like, I don't know, I guess it's made money then. But that same month, that same weekend, it was also competing with wide release films such as Blade Runner 2049, The Mountain Between Us, and My Little Pony. So there were a lot of choices that weekend. And yeah. So that's the stats. I figure maybe a quick little synopsis of what happens, because it's kind of I feel like it's like 2 movies in one almost, because it sets you up for a home invasion, cute babysitter, boy who has a crush on babysitter and starts to pull pranks. Prank gets out of hand, and she gets slapped down the stairs, and then you wake up to a new movie where this kid is an absolute psychopath, and it's kind of a hostage situation, and just stuff keeps happening, and there's death and all that jazz.
It gets out of control pretty quickly.
It got out of control pretty quickly, but I also feel like this is like part of my first big question is, what point do you think that this movie, this kid, Luke, lost control? Or did he have control the entire time? Did he plan for all these things to happen? Or after he slaps her down the stairs, I think personally that he just kind of had an idea of what he wanted to happen and ran with it, but I don't know. So there's my first real question. Do you think he meant for all this stuff to happen, or did he just wing it? Want to start with whoever wants to raise their hand first. Joe
He
did
was
it.
about to go. Okay. He had to have like incredible luck for everything to fall into place, like this crazy ass puzzle. But I think that I'm maybe right from the okay. So he knocks her down the stairs and then he ties her up, and I think that was probably all part of the plan. And I don't know what the end game was originally supposed to be, but then as things kind of start slipping away, he has to improvise, and it just keeps getting like crazier and crazier and crazier. And then, but I mean, he did kill that guy and didn't really have to.
Ricky, the boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah, he definitely did that.
he
But
didn't.
he said he had to because of he needed someone to blame for the weed smell.
Right.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty crazy. That he was like, that was like something he was really, really worried about.
So
Yeah.
Was
that was like protecting his buddy and himself.
Right.
At least that's how he played it off. What do you think, Anchor Arms?
Well, I was, just thinking about the recap, like, the classic trope of, is this a Jacob's Ladder situation where once she falls down the stairs, then, she's either unconscious and the whole thing happens in a dream. Potentially, there's always that angle to play, but I think he was in control kind of throughout. Like, yeah, there was unexpected events and surprises that came up, but at the same time, like, his ability to adapt and pivot on his plot pretty swiftly, I would say, suggested that he was rather in control throughout.
Like he
The
just
evening.
kept a level head and responded well
Yeah.
until he didn't. What about Aft Hatch? Opinions?
I think like every date that I go on, I have a plan A and a plan B. And the plan A, the person knows about. And I think Luke had a plan A, and I think Garrett knew about plan A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, I need to do this, and I need to save her and have her fall in love with me because I kind of have a crush on her. She likes this douche, Ricky. And then, things didn't work out that way when she figured it out. And then he went to this plan B that he had tucked away. And that's where, everything got out of hand because Garrett didn't even know about it. And Garrett was like, hold on, dude, this is getting a little bit crazy. I like the little tricking the babysitter shit, but now we're really getting into violence and something that you can see Garrett was not comfortable with throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
So I always think there was a plan B, and maybe he intended for plan B to be plan A the whole time, but he just needed help to get everything started in the first place. The kid bothered me.
Beginning were hardcore. He couldn't have done them by himself.
And I was just thinking, I was like, how could David Putty and Virginia Madsen make such a retarded kid like this? No way.
Well, I mean, Putty was always kind of a, dim-witted character, if you will.
Give him his 8-ball jacket,
I don't know if it's. Okay, so the kids are 12 years old. The
Yeah.
two boys, the pals, and then
Yeah.
the babysitter is 17.
Yeah.
Right. Which is already
Okay, so there's a 5-year difference.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
At that
dude,
age, it's a big
are
difference.
are kids at 12 years old? Are they smoking weed and like and I guess probably thinking about being? Are they
drinking.
doing some sort of crazy attempt to get laid at the age of 12?
Yeah.
And And then also, I mean, the kid was also drinking. Like, I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't know what it's like in these. He's obviously a super rich kid. His house is super nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's how rich kids, super rich kids, get down. They can, they just drink champagne. Their parents don't even realize a bottle of champagne's on, and they're
Yeah.
buying marijuana and smoking in the suburbs. But I just thought it was a really crazy thing that like these kids are like 12, and these guys are like hardcore.
Well,
They weren't
Garrett
that
said he had an
hardcore.
older brother who got him the weed.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So there's at least, I think Garrett's probably from a more normal family, but definitely Luke's got some weird shit going on. I mean, he had Oxycontin and he gave him to Garrett.
Yeah, they definitely have like access to a lot of drugs and alcohol and this isn't even like a movie like Bad Kids or whatever that. It's I mean it's this is legitimate like setting up the whole idea of the movie. How I guess how I don't know. I thought they were kind of badass kids. 12 years old, they were doing some shit that at the beginning of the movie before they even got into the actual shit of the movie. I was like, okay. No one else thought that was odd.
I have a lot of thoughts about the movie and the kids, but that's as we get into it.
Oh, sorry,
I'm
jumping the gun probably on this whole thing.
They didn't seem like they knew what they would be doing anyway with like what kid likes the taste of champagne? It's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, why do we need a drinking age? Because I know when I was a kid, I didn't like the taste of beer.
Right.
12 years old, I didn't want a beer. Let me go get a Coke from McDonald's or something where they have perfect carbonation and the right size straw. And I remember taking one of my mom's wine coolers.
Yeah,
Me
that
and
was
my
about as
friends
hardcore
drank
as
it
we
on the
got.
way to school back in those old Bartles and James commercials, if you guys don't remember those.
Oh yeah.
But,
Bartles and
I
James.
accidentally sipped out of my mom's rum and Coke. I was like, "Oh, Coke," and I sipped out of it, and I was like, "Oh, what is this nonsense?"
Is this vanilla?
The Trauma Hawk, did you have anything to add on to that first question at all? Or
Yeah, I was thinking you could call me Adam. The
Hi,
name
man.
is just for fun. But I'm with Chris. Like he definitely like plan A was just to his original plan A was, the scary movie, and if that there and the fake home invasion, and that was gonna get the girl. And then plan B, I think he did have that plan B backup, but it's just a testament of how smart he was, because like he was able to think about all the excuses on the fly. His only problem was getting Garrett on board with them and flipping Garrett. So he was a pretty clever kid. He definitely had a plan B. And then when things started getting really crazy, plan C involved flipping Garrett.
yeah.
And also, I also want to mention that these kids weren't that hardcore. Like you could tell, like all their like drinking and drugs and stuff is like from watching a lot of film and media, because no kid's really gonna think it's badass or to drink champagne, and and they kind of had an idea what Oxycontin is, but they don't really know what Oxycontin is. So like they weren't that badass. They're just replicating what they saw on TV, is what I guess.
And they got a lot of privilege apparently, so they're definitely seeing things when they shouldn't be allowed to see things, and not being talked to about it, because his parents are really interesting. They seem perfectly normal and goofy and just the way you imagine rich parents to be, but not like bad people. And they seem super attentive. So it seems very strange to me that they went out of their way to make sure you got a good characterization of them, but then also they were literally there just to set you up and to scream when they came home. Like,
Yeah.
like
They're kind of helicopter parents almost,
yeah. Can't fix all of his problems with womb noise making machines, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a weird ass little machine. I've never seen that machine before.
Oh yeah,
that
that was really weird.
that what was it? The noise making machine, womb noises.
Oh,
Oh,
It looks like
heartbeat machine.
it looks like
Yeah.
it makes like different like white noise sounds, and one of the white noise sounds was like the inside of a womb, which is pretty freaky. Just turn on a fan. Like
Now, was that womb noise making machine? Was that part of a long play for this whole plan?
you could argue that.
Because it seems like he really didn't need it, but he needed it for this plan to work or something.
I think that he was like kind of a weirdo, and like that was one of the things that was like legit about him was that, and he goes into it like he wanted to know why his mom stopped sleeping with him or something along those lines. I think that he did have like some type of weird mom issues.
yeah, that's the
So-
question
so-
that finally pushed him over the edge.
I get that because when I was a little kid, younger than him, I had a big Virginia Madsen crush. So I understand it.
57 in this movie. She's rocking.
Champagne's probably why he peed the bed.
Maybe.
But yeah, not hardcore, not as hardcore as the people that growing up in Central Valley, California.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
What
guess
is,
it's all relative. Like where we're located in the grand scheme of things here. Yeah. So yeah, those 12-year-old kids are kind of little badasses in my county standards.
That's just rich kids. They got access to that. So what did you guys think about the whole setup to the invasion part of the movie? Like the beginning, you see like the car start that looks like it's following the teenage girl to her babysitting thing. And then the pepperoni pizza that shows up with mushrooms on it, but they never called for it. Like what did you like have a particularly favorite prank, or maybe even just a prank that you don't know how they pulled it off still?
Yeah. My first thought on that was there was no motive at all established or set up for any kind of home invasion to be taking place. Like it just kind of happens out of the blue. So it was like potentially was like a crime of coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't like the we didn't have the Home Alone like wet bandits scene to establish break-ins in the neighborhood or anything like that. It's just all of a sudden this is happening, like and it's not even like the beginning of Scream where like we have the first, not really the first, but an incident of the
The anniversary
operandum of the invader kind of thing. Is just completely as we found out, fabricated. So there's that.
Found myself like guessing like the entire time the home invasion thing was going on. Like, okay, I must have missed something. Like David Putty or his mother must be like jewelers or something. Did I miss something because there's a reason they're doing this? And then I'm just like, well, you know what? Maybe it's just a cheese horror movie, and it's designed to just be like people are trying to kill us.
Yeah,
So I was like, but the whole time, like I was like, what? So, is there money there? Is there a treasure in the backyard? Like, why are these? Why is it? I thought it was like two burglars or something. It made it seem
Right.
like there was multiple, maybe. I feel like that now, but I guess it was like the Santa Claus in the window and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
To creep him out. But yeah, I was like, what is going on? Why are they doing this? Like. So and then that makes the twist, and then it was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I get it.
So the
Chris?
trailer pitched this as like a Home Alone on steroids kind of thing. So like actually good on the trailer for not giving the movie away. As we found out, it was vastly different.
Yeah, the trailer gave away too much for sure. Chris, you had something?
This movie would have been better if it was in a trailer.
Yeah.
the the we keep bringing up Home Alone. And Home Alone, he threw a paint can, and it did not kill Daniel Stern.
No.
This kid throws a paint can. I don't know what was in it, but the dude's head's crushed. As if somebody used a mallet
It
on
was
a rock.
obviously full of yellow paint.
Right. I'd say the first 25 minutes of this movie got me really intrigued, and I was really into it. And I said, "Oh, I think I would have liked it better if it would have stayed with." There was some dark secret that Putty had, that he was into some illegal shit, and there might be treasure in the backyard or something in that house that made these people go to that house in that neighborhood. Because I always say to people, I'm like, why would they break into your house? Out of all the houses in this neighborhood, why would they break into yours? But then once it was uncovered what was going on, then you kind of say, okay, I see what's happening. And in no way did I think it was going to take this turn. So I was happy about that. But I would have been happy if it would have just been a, holy shit, I've got to save this babysitter that I really like. And the babysitter and this kid and then his nerd friend have to team up to take out some like real murderers, competent robbers, murderers, not the Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern type.
Right.
And they got to save the day. But it turned out that this kid, I don't know where his plan was going, because he's willing to murder to get what he wants with this girl. But, I would have thought there would have been other crimes in his head that he would have tried. And he did not do that. So I was like, he's not consistent in his evilness.
Yeah, maybe.
And use one paint can, then you gotta burn someone's hand with something. You gotta set micro machines on the floor. I want to see some real hijinks and murdering going on.
Right.
This babysitter clothes.
Angels
She had her
without
clothes on the whole
wings
movie.
or whatever.
I had read so I watched it like 5 times
Oh my
because I
gosh.
wanted to make sure I understood exactly what happened. Like I solved the mystery behind.
Lost you.
Sabrina, Sabrina.
All right, you guys are back. I'm back.
You're back.
So the way they paid homage to Home Alone was in like really subtle things, like the spiders in the attic, that kind of thing, and then the angle at which they saw the bad guy car at the beginning start up and pull up and follow the other car. Did I lose you again?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Video
my
froze, but
my screen froze, so I didn't know what was happening.
We can still hear you.
Okay, good. All right. So like there was a couple like small subtle things to allude to Home Alone, but yeah, for the most part, I think they just did that to get everybody in on it, kind of get people hyped up for the movie.
yeah, so to speak.
Obviously, with that gross box office.
$1,000.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was a limited release. It was a real small budget. They made it in Australia. Which, can I go on a quick tangent about the doorknobs?
Okay.
Oh, we didn't have the hot iron on the doorknob either.
They turn the different direction down under.
No, they are like 5
here.
feet. They're like eye level, like 5 foot, 5'2". So all of the doorknobs in the movie, that's just how like old houses in Australia were built. And so like if you rewatch it, so I didn't notice, I knew something was weird about it, but watching it the 4th and 5th time, I was like, oh, it's the doorknobs. They're like way too tall. So anyways, weird things you notice when you watch the movie too many times.
Good eye.
Did you have anything else to add to, like, did you have like a favorite prank or anything or like that going on?
In our real lives?
No, in the movie, like
Oh,
because the whole first 25 minutes or whatever is just gags.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, we start establishing he's kind of a sociopath early on in a sense. Like, that's a whole different angle on Luke's character and his dynamic with Ashley, but
I did think that they tried to make it seem like she had a more aggressive boyfriend, and maybe that was one of the home invaders or something, because they brought that up a couple times. But they were really vague, like Chris said, they were really vague about any kind of motive, but it made it fun, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody want to talk about anything else from like the first 25 minutes? Because I think it becomes an entirely new movie.
right.
once
So we
you
did
wake
get
up.
the
Yeah.
kind of the trope of Luke, quote, wearing her down, as he kind of starts into that whole thing, really kind of trying to play into, we've been friends for so long, and this they have two different perspectives on their relationship or whatever. She sees him as just kind of the friend, you're the kid that I babysit, and then he's got this deep-seated crush, and kind of he's been the friend or good kid for so long, and now it's my turn to my time is up, it's time to collect, I guess, kind of thing.
But yeah, she's moving away, so it's time for desperate measures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is his last chance at, I'm assuming, intercourse,
Or anything. Like
making out with him.
Adam, you had something to say.
Yeah. Who has a landline? First of all, it's 2016, 17. That landline.
Our
That
parents
landline.
do.
Secondly, the first spider that he traps and then he frees it outside. It's like, I know he has the spiders up in the attic, but why did he free that spider? And secondly, is that a little bit of foreshadowing because spiders like to trap their prey before they kill them?
Maybe. Could
Maybe.
be.
There was a lot of foreshadowing in this movie. But yeah, I did wonder why he would lose a spider, or if he meant to lose a spider at all. And then he just kind of had to roll with it, which shows how good of a
True.
how
Okay.
smart he is, that he can roll with things. He's like, oh, well, I lost one of my spiders, I guess.
Right. That, or I think he was playing the not really the passive, but like the good kid kind of angle. It's like, oh yeah, no, we don't want to kill the thing. We'll just let it outside. It's humane.
Yeah,
And
But
and
that
all
was
Never
part that
kill
he saw that
anything.
opportunity after the spider just showed up, because he can't make the spider walk across the countertop at her.
right.
But then he saw the opportunity to take this a step further
Sure.
for his side. So like,
Yeah.
this kid is too smart for his own good,
Yeah.
clearly.
Oh, also the I guess this would kind of fall on the pre-stair fall part of the movie. There's nothing really safer than a drunk 12-year-old with a gun.
Yeah.
So there's always that
Yeah.
to keep in mind.
Well, when you get afraid, you're like, adrenaline kicks in and you sober up real fast.
Right. But
I'm
you're
just kidding.
12 and you drank half a bottle of champagne, and regardless of how often this is your Saturday night with the babysitter, wildly
did you guys-
irresponsible.
He
Did you
spilled
guys
he
see
spilled
that?
a quarter of the champagne he drank on himself anyways. He
Probably.
wasn't that drunk.
Did you guys catch the pizza getting delivered with mushrooms?
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's-
I assume that he had Garrett order in the pizza, and Garrett, being his buddy, knows that he doesn't like mushrooms. So of course his buddy is gonna mess with him and order mushrooms for him. But I did think it was real weird. Like, I've been a babysitter of these little nonsense children, not a psychopath, thankfully enough. But if somebody's gonna randomly order me food and I don't know about it, I'm gonna call parents and be like, did you send us this? Like, I'm not just gonna take food from strangers.
Right.
It's kind of a bad baby.
Yeah, it was 2016. You could have just like sent him a text. It wasn't, this wasn't shot in 1987.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the text messaging is available, and generally people have their phones within inches of them. You
Right.
know, so I mean, yeah.
And
Did you order a pizza? You know,
it was before the hijinks of the phone going in the fish tank.
Yeah.
oh,
Even though it was
okay.
seemed to be clearly in like an outer box, was probably okay at the same time. You know?
Didn't
Just
even put it in rice immediately.
yeah, just to take it a step further, I won't eat at potlucks because I didn't get to inspect your kitchen before you made this food. You know, I don't. Sabrina's cats walked all over the bread dough and helped her knead the bread dough with their paws. Um,
It's their
I won't eat that. And Adam, just to your point, I don't know if you've seen the new landlines now. They're landlines, and then where you would dial and stuff. It's your smartphone. You get put all your apps on there. Bring it up just like you do your handheld phone. They're selling those now. 2016, this may have been in the works. Who knows? This kid, if he would have applied himself maybe in that field instead of murder or debauchery with his mimosas and shit, he probably
Making mimosas and shit.
Plus it's Australia, so I don't know. However that changes
By the
the
way,
internet.
these kids
And
are all Australian. I looked them up. They're all Australian. So the fact that they're pulling off these American accents and stuff was kind of cool to me.
Well, the British are better American actors than most Americans, so.
and
these days.
It does happen quite a bit.
let's not forget Jeremy Renner had a better Boston accent than Ben Affleck did in The Town.
They're both pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. If it's made in Australia, why are the parents two American icons?
The setting was Chicago.
You got the
Yeah.
tick, and
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
like the suburbs of Chicago.
yeah,
And like the guy was originally going to make the movie in like North Carolina, but his budget was like half the size of, and then I guess he has family in Australia, and some guy that makes movies in Australia was like, "Hey, you've got relatives over here. I'll give you 3 million to make it over here." And he was like, "Cool, see you soon." So it was kind of just lucky, I guess.
I guess they're pulling everything from Home Alone, Chicago suburbs, and paint cans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they're not.
I just want to say, their neighbors went to Florida for the holidays, and that's where Kevin's parents went in Home Alone 2, was Florida.
My goodness.
Oh,
So they could have been neighbors to the McAllisters.
Yeah.
Okay.
could have been, huh? Okay, now it's all tying together.
Well, Macaulay was next door, just having a blast.
Yeah.
Partying too hard, couldn't hear the
It's where they got
screams of terror.
it's where they got the shotgun from, fucking Macaulay Culkin.
Just wanted
Yeah.
the creepy old guy with his rock salt shoveling his driveway.
You can only take care of one lonely child at a time. Okay, sounds like we're moving on to part 2, the real movie. She wakes up, she's tied up, she's one layer less up top. Garrett is high on Oxycontin because presumably he was losing his cool and he was clearly not a part of Plan B. So I think the Oxycontin was a move to make him just chill out a bit. And yeah, you can see him like cleaning up and putting the floodlights away. And I was like, oh, okay, they're letting you know that this was smarter than that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I guess the paintball gun would be a good substitute for the pellet gun from Home Alone kind of thing, like the modern spin. Thinking about that, thinking about how they
Compare and
winged,
contrast.
Garrett there on the way out.
Yeah, and I mean they put the shadows in the windows and all that kind of stuff too to make it look like people out there when there weren't people out there. So I don't know. it was definitely present.
Mhm.
Yeah, so getting the next thing that happens is like Ricky.
Now I lost her.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next that happens is she wants to talk her way out of it, and Garrett's like, "This is a great idea," but I mean, Luke hasn't gotten anything that he wants out of this yet, so truth or dare happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what my next question was after that. Actually,
I just want to say that the truth or dare question game was super accurate for the ages of 13 to like 28.
Yeah.
like
Boob.
dare you to touch a tit.
Yeah. Yeah. Minus the whole fact that it was, you know, pushing forward his rapey sexual assault motive. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, telling you. Little badass, 12-year-old.
Well, you look at your notes. I just want to say that like the first twist really was really got me, especially like at the previous scene where they're doing the overhead shot where they're laying on the floor. They like it made me really root for them to make it out of that scenario. And then when the twist came, it got me. It got me good.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you realized it was just Garrett in the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, no, when she got pimp slapped down the stairs, and I was like, oh, you got me.
Yeah, because I mean, the trailer gave a little bit away, so you knew it was going to turn at some point, but you didn't know how. Like, how was this going to suddenly evolve into a hostage situation? So, yeah.
So he thought he killed her, and then for like a split second, the rest of the movie was going to be how they're going to get rid of the body,
Right. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
like
But-
that kind of a thing.
Right.
But they spent that whole running away sequence, like really, like you're like rooting for them super hard. Like,
Right.
man, I hope they can make it.
Yeah.
They really sold it too. Like, I watching her go through all the emotions, and then all of a sudden she's like, I recognize that mask. And then Garrett itches his shoulder, and he had earlier been looking for the itch cream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
That's pretty good.
You're back.
Wait.
Yeah.
It sounds like a champagne, yeah.
Yeah.
Popping bottles over there.
Yeah, it keeps cutting out. I don't know how to do this.
Other ear.
Why does it matter which ear? They're the same shape. Does it matter which ear?
It's impacted. by
It's more
Yeah,
the
it doesn't sit
length
as
of
well
the.
if you have it backwards.
Okay, so anyways, oh, now I closed my notebook. So Ricky comes over. Let's start with Ricky. What do we think about Ricky? Did he act the way you think a boyfriend would act, or
It kind of seemed stereotypical kind of deal. He was, he's angling to come over to hang out with her, at somebody's house with the parents away kind of thing, like for them to have fun or whatever.
Mhm.
And
coitus.
yeah, all
Yeah,
that, those kinds of, the normal, hoodlum teen kind of behavior, if you will, that we all would have angled for. And
I think Ricky was like more trouble than Luke thought he was going to get out of Ricky. And
Yeah.
so he thought like he had to like really try to make up some shit real fast about period cramps and Garrett
Yeah,
with his
yeah.
diarrhea and stuff like that. So that cracked me up pretty good.
Yeah,
So
it
I
was
think
like-
that was the first time you see Luke lose a little bit of his control.
yeah. But then again, pivots fairly effectively, you could say. So I mean, yeah, he just thought, yeah, she don't want you around here no more. Get out of here. And like he'd be like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'll go. Oh, you mean that doesn't work? Jeez.
Yeah.
When he hit old Ricky in the head with that bat, and then the fight scene, like right after that between him and Luke, is that his name, Luke?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that shit. I kind of laughed at that.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seemed kind of jokey, like the whole thing. I don't know if they were trying to make it like that, like he catches the bat with one hand. But I enjoyed. I kind of liked that. I kind of like that. But there's no way on earth Ricky's like a specimen.
It was a
This guy
high
is.
school
I mean,
jock or whatever.
he's a high school jock, and he looks
Yeah.
cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is no way that little nerdy Luke is. I mean, he did get over. He got him from behind with the bat, early
Right.
on. So he may have been, kind of out of it or whatever. But I mean, he quickly looked like he gathered himself because he, had a little fight with that kid. But yeah, there's just no way he would have dropped that kid quick.
I think it was good. Garrett was a great buddy, like showing up and just getting him to freeze and like give in. Otherwise, Luke wouldn't have won that battle at all. But again, Garrett gets thrown off and thrown into plan C real hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as that's progressing or whatever, and then I'm still like, okay, now what's the plan? Like, what is he gonna, because he's got two people tied up, and still like wants to be, I guess, romantic with this woman. I don't know what's, the whole time I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this?
Yeah.
And then it just, kept on like getting like more and more and more and more ridiculous. But we'll get to that stuff later. But yeah, so he's got two people tied up, and wow.
Do you think
then
he
he
still
still-
has control of the situation at this point, or not?
It's a little loose, but he's like, I can salvage this or whatever, or like, I can still get to the end goal. Like I can figure it out kind of thing if I basically control the variables, being Ashley and Ricky. So I mean,
Yeah, I don't think he had control anymore. Things weren't working out the way that he had planned. And if you're trying to pull off a scam like this, you don't introduce variables yourself. Ricky needs to show up on his own. And I sympathize with him, because it's like, I know whenever I'd go over to, like, say, my girlfriend's babysitting somewhere, the last thing I want to have to deal with, I want to meet my goals. I don't want to have to deal with these little pieces of crap. And
Yeah.
one thing I do know, you never turn your back on kids that are being babysat, and you always make sure your plums are never exposed, anything like that. That's all kids, because they think doing something to you impresses the babysitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, my whole thing was, it was like, I agree with Joe. He was a specimen. This little kid's not going to get the best of me. Not letting a 12-year-old. And I don't believe Luke can swing a bat hard enough to hurt me.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
he could
does
sucker
have some-
punch me once.
He doesn't have the
whatever, but-
form. He didn't put his hips into it. It was just all arms, and his arms weren't that great. And I just think, okay, what he thinks this girl's just gonna finally give in and say, okay, after you've like cut me with razors or something, and you baseball
Yeah.
Pour me down.
dab him in the
No.
neck with pencils, and okay, now finally you got to
I
make
think-
your move and end this movie.
Do you
the
think
right way.
that he texted Ricky from her phone to get her to come over to convince her that he was a creep, or did he actually want to encounter him?
I think he kind of wanted to encounter him, and I was just looking at for like the goofs and like continuity errors and whatnot.
Mhm.
And IMDb, it's later they show how or reveal that Luke had texted Ricky to come over from Ashley's phone, but apparently her phone's never really pulled out of the fish tank.
They pulled it out of the fish tank.
I mean,
He went
Wonder what-
over after she was sitting on she was strapped in, and he went over and pulled it out, and then he pulls
Yeah.
the cover off of it.
yeah, which I thought I could have swore they did, but it was like much later. It wasn't like immediately, because you would think once like it flew into the tank when they kind of started the home invasion thing, like immediately would have been, all right, well, let's get this phone out of here
Yeah.
and try and
I think he sent those texts earlier in the night, like when she went to go check on she saw that the door was open or whatever, and then she
Maybe.
runs back into the room, and he had texted Ricky then, because that's the only way I could see it happening.
right, possible.
Is this a ploy for him to show her that he's a piece of crap and he can dominate him?
Yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
trying to make Ricky look like a creep and a weirdo, and then
Yeah.
make himself look like he was strong and he stood up to him in some way or
Yeah.
something. I don't know much about
White
this
Knight
masculinity that you all have problems
saved the
with.
day. Save the day. White Knight. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think, did Ricky pee his pants on purpose, or to like get a moment alone? Because I was kind of like, did he do that on purpose, or did he just have to go?
Well, I
Or was he
believe
scared?
we have an expert that knows it's very tough to purposefully pee your pants. So maybe they can comment. But
Is it hard? Is it hard to do? I've never tried.
See, and that's the thing that you don't. I mean, like, I just don't think I just don't think you just sit there and be like and pee your pants. I mean, unless you were like in like this like terrifying situation, then I think all bets are off and you're going to pee your pants.
Yeah.
Right.
Or did he show up to the house drinking a beer by chance?
No, that was
No.
Jeremy.
Okay.
No, that was the
Okay.
other one, wasn't it?
Okay. So
The
this
other
guy
boyfriend.
probably didn't
Yeah.
have,
This is
So-
ex-boyfriend Jeremy pulls up.
I think Ricky was a solid dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ricky's
Yeah.
He
Pretty
seemed
good
like a
guy,
good guy.
pretty guy.
He did sound like he was just upset that she decided to babysit instead of spending time with him when
Yeah.
she's moving away, which
Right.
when you're 17 and 18 years old, that makes sense.
hey, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
why did she decide to do like, yeah, I'm leaving in 2 days, but I got to make this $12 babysitting this shithead.
Yo,
Yeah, that's
have you
like-
ever babysat for a rich family? Because I have, and you make
Well,
more
yeah,
than
but-
$12.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm just in the scheme of things, like, I'm 16, 17 or whatever. Like, I'm leaving in 2 days. Like,
$50.
yeah. Or what,
$100
whatever the money
will
is.
go a long way, dude, when you're 17 and you're
Sure.
Yeah.
moving.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Just thinking about it, man. It's
Maybe, I don't know. I
exciting.
guess.
About to quit my job right now.
Yeah,
Go become a full-time babysitter.
I don't want to do that again. So yeah. So anyways, Garrett needs to cool off again. He smokes some weed. And
Because that'll, level out things. It's just
yeah, just pile some weed on top
Drunk
of
and
the
high and-
Oxycontin on
and
top of the
yeah.
beer. Yeah, it'll be great. So Garrett's properly fucked up. And then we move into Ricky P's, and then we move into what happens next?
The
I'm
paint
not-
can't see.
The paint can scene, obviously, because he smells the weed. We find out that Ashley and Ricky haven't slept together too. So
Yeah.
that's big news for him, and it's very exciting. But the smell of the weed overtakes all of his senses, and he needs to come up with a way to make sure that Garrett and himself are not incriminated. So he already knows at this point that I'm guessing he probably knows that Ricky is going to be murdered or hurt or something. because he makes him smoke the weed so that it's in his system.
So, what's the
Right?
plan all along? Was the plan all along to murder everybody by the end of the night?
Like
That's the real question here.
what if like plan A worked and she gave in to him? Would he have been satisfied?
It's a 15-minute movie.
Potentially.
15-minute movie. But
Yeah.
Luke would have been satisfied.
Yeah.
But Luke doesn't get what he wants, so he has to keep stepping it up.
He would have been like, I didn't expect this, you know. He already drank a half a glass of champagne. Now he can't get it up.
Right.
Out.
This poor little
He's
12-year-old boner.
Settle down there, Mrs. Robinson.
So sad.
yeah, right.
You're a school teacher in a previous.
This guy.
So did you think it was a cool kill?
I did.
Yes.
I did. I thought it was kind of. I like the way that they set it up at the beginning of the movie when they were like about Googling that or whatever to find the
Yeah.
answer if you could kill
They were
somebody with a
arguing
paint
about
can.
it.
They were arguing back and forth. It was like, Psh, we'll try it right here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
But after the first paint can miss, if I was Ricky, I would have knocked my own chair back. I'm like, you're not fucking hitting me with the paint can in the face.
Not a direct hit, anyway. You know. And what's
Yeah.
his hit made out of? Where he's letting a paint can hurt him that bad?
Ballistic Joe.
They're
I would
heavy.
they're heavy, and I was thinking that too. I'm like, all right, so, you know, it is a movie at the end of the
Right.
day. I mean, I'm not expecting them to, you know, get a
Well, he threw
forensic
it
scientist
too.
or something out there. Yeah, he kind of, you know, I mean,
He chucked it. The second time,
full
he made
pendulum
sure.
swing
Yeah.
right into his.
It
Right
was
into
like
his
a
face.
Mythbuster episode to me.
Well, that's what he said. He said, "Let's settle this MythBuster
that's
style."
So yeah, and then you know smashes his head, and I thought it was kind of funny when that he forced him to smoke when Luke forced
Oh, and it came out of
old boy to smoke that joint, and like
Oh,
and the
yeah.
smoke was coming out of the side of the hole in his face that when he got stabbed with the
That's
pencil.
so age
Yeah.
appropriate. If you're a 12-year-old boy and you see smoke coming out of somebody's
I
face,
thought
you're
it
gonna
was
be
still
like,
funny. You know?
yeah,
yeah, I did.
yeah. But you wouldn't at this age. You probably wouldn't hold your friend down and make it happen.
I might. You know.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. So, yeah, he had a pretty rough go.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt for Ricky pretty hardcore at this moment because I don't know that he meant for him to die, but I think he saw the opportunity to do the paint can thing, and because it was fresh in their mind, he was like, "Let's paint can the head." Yeah. Anybody
Took his
want to
hat
say
off.
any parting words for Ricky?
And it gave me that like Zac Efron kind of vibe.
Cool guy vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had some cool guy vibes. Showed
Wonder
up
what
with
his plans
flowers and
were.
everything. Was even willing to talk to her when she was having diarrhea. Sweet
Yeah.
man. Sweet man.
Yeah, and Ricky didn't know. Ricky's still young. Ricky's older in the movie, but he's still young. He doesn't understand that no pussy's worth that.
Yeah.
It's not
Cramps
that
and diarrhea?
I'll
take a rain
Yeah.
check.
You don't die for anything, and you don't. Yeah, you don't sit there and say, "Okay, hey, I'll work with you through your diarrhea and stuff." It's kind of I have a lot of weird rules now that I am single and I'm dating, and I don't want to get into it right now about when's the last time you crabbed and are you going to be in my house. I don't want to spend the night with you because I have things that need to go on in the morning. You know, all these things cross my mind now. What I can, if she's special and deserves Arby's, I know that we can't do anything that night but yeah, you just gotta let him know, hey, let her leave. You're Ricky. Look at you. Look at the mirror, and you're going to get another girl. And she wasn't the hottest thing in the world either. Some drop dead, gorgeous babysitter. She was just.
He was a
fine.
wholesome young lady, and that's wholesome, pretty young lady that's willing to babysit somebody's little shithead kid for only I don't know how much money.
Yeah, she looked like she was from Kansas. Probably feeds baby possums with a bottle.
Oh.
She actually has a
Other-
vest made of it has a bunch of bottles stuck to it. She can have a whole bunch of the babies all over. It's real cute.
All right. So now we're back to she gets tied up again.
Yeah.
This time a little bit more hectically and festively.
Right.
Oh, wait, did she get away? Wait, because she does try to escape.
Yeah, that was the first time where
She
Yeah.
gets the brick to
Ricky
the
peed his pants and all that.
she gets the brick to the back of her head.
She gets the brick to the back of her head. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what'd you guys think of her escape attempt and the carolers and stuff?
I would have made it.
That's decent. You know, it was a good effort for sure.
Good effort. She had a chair attached to her arm for most of it, so that's
Yeah.
pretty
yeah.
good.
Could have used it kind of as a weapon. She really didn't go that route because I mean, he's only 12 allegedly. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, any Jackie Chan movie would have told you how to use that chair.
She's clearly not the Jackie Chan watching type.
I
But
felt
she
that
did
coulda-
go to the length of trying to shoot the gun eventually.
Yeah.
I think she could have. I think she could have escaped. I think she could have beat her way out of there with that chair attached to her or not. I mean, again, she is like a cute little, almost adult. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming she's got to be like every bit of like what 95 pounds, probably 5'3",
Yeah.
Right.
5'4", pretty little, blonde girl.
Yeah.
Or whatever color her hair was. I don't know, blonde maybe.
Blonde.
Okay. Yeah, she's very, very, very. Yeah, so she's, and I guess that a 12-year-old kid, probably roughly, same maybe. So maybe she had her hands full. But I mean, swing that chair around, sister.
Yeah.
I think I would have gotten away.
I think she was more sympathetic towards Garrett for sure, though. Like she could tell that Garrett wasn't all the way in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, there was
that
there was an
kinda
awful
comes-
lot of like Garrett heart to heart moments that like
Yeah.
he's not your friend, man. No friend will make you do this. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do? Like, you're going to go to jail, dude.
Right.
It seems like he gets told that like 2 or 3 times, and
Yeah.
he sticks by weird ass Luke through thick and thin.
Right. But she also knew like she needed to flip somebody or she needed to balance the scales back in her favor somehow to get out of there. So like he seemed like the weakest link,
Oh yeah,
because obviously Luke's the mastermind. So,
he's got all sorts of.
I mean,
shit
he's
concocted.
trapped. Garrett's trapped no matter what he
Yeah.
does at this point.
yeah.
So anyways, Jeremy shows up. What do you guys think about Jeremy? I thought he was
Chode.
a great character.
Yeah.
A great first boyfriend, it would seem.
Yeah. It was
I
like,
liked him better in Shop Class and Christine.
yeah, right. There was a sweet switchblade and mutton chops.
Oh man. But he was sincere. He wanted to impress her.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't hear anything. All right, we're back. I got an ear thingy in.
Uh,
Forced cuddles with Adam.
I guess I didn't really have too much to say about what's his name again? The one that shows
Jeremy.
up, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I didn't really get to. I mean, he wasn't in the movie long enough for me to really establish a real connection with him. I guess.
Either way, yeah.
And he was kind of a major, just gigantic
Character.
douche.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say character, but yeah,
Yeah.
he had a lot of personality. But I think it was pretty clever. His death was extremely clever.
Yeah.
What, write her a heartfelt note or some shit.
Suicide letter.
A suicide
Yeah,
note.
it was pretty slick.
Yeah.
It was pretty slick.
Do you think that if he had let Garrett in on this part of the plan, that Garrett wouldn't have started to cave in to Ashley? Because if he had seen a way out through Luke's eyes, maybe he would have gone along with it.
No, he's not a sociopath.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he was able to go through one body and be like suppress it, but 2 bodies within like an hour, that kid's gonna crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also feel like Luke didn't give him any assurance of any kind. So he could have at least made something up to let him think that he had it under control,
Yeah.
but he didn't at all.
But then again, maybe he was easily enough manipulated that Luke could just be like, you know, I got it all planned. Look, if she, she gets away, we're fucked. Like
Yeah.
everything's, I got this.
If
It's just like, yeah, sure, I'm drunk and high, whatever. Man.
if Luke was smart enough and conniving enough, he would have made it seem like Jeremy and Ricky were attacking Garrett.
Yeah.
And then he killed them in self-defense.
Right.
But ultimately, Garrett has a conscience and he's not a sociopath, so he was a liability.
Yeah.
So what makes him so easy manipulated is that, Garrett doesn't have a lot of friends. So, and he can't really make friends because nobody wants to be friends with a nerd. And so this is what makes him keep choosing Luke. All right, if I lose this guy, then what?
Yeah,
You
he
know?
doesn't have anybody.
There's nowhere to turn when it comes to his friendships. And he doesn't realize, you can probably make more friends that you'll appreciate. You learn that later in life when you look back on life,
Yeah.
not in the moment.
Like the beginning of the movie, it's almost like they're working on establishing Garrett being the bad influence on Luke. Like
Yeah.
they're talking about titties or whatever they were doing. Their mom walked in, and or Luke's mom walks in. He's like, and like the fumbling around the medicine cabinet, looking like he's like looking for drugs. Like pills or something, I mean, it looks like he's the bad influence the entire time. And then
on the second watch through, you could see how Gary is intimidated by Luke, though.
All right.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Okay.
Doing all that stuff to try to impress Luke.
He's like the small alpha somehow.
Great minds.
Yeah, he's a genius. So yeah, we lose Jeremy. And then
Was
lose
Jeremy
Gordon.
also a high school kid, or was he a college kid?
I think he was supposed to be like 19 or something.
Yeah, it seemed like he was like 19.
Older boyfriend,
Okay, so he was a couple years older, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ricky
he's like
was
that.
in high school,
He's
right?
that douchebag that you date when you're first starting to date in high school, but he's older and out of high school, so you think it's cool. Most of us have done it. So
I remember my first biker boyfriend, right? I'll never forget.
It's
Never
just
forget.
impressive that they're not in high school because all the boys in high school are losers and have poop jokes. So this one's older and more mature, so he must not have
Right.
those things.
I wanted to ask you guys something. In every movie,
Yeah.
you got the hot girl in the high school.
Yeah.
She's always dating a college guy. What are your thoughts on that college guy? Like
think
she's
he's
looked at as
cool.
like the queen,
Yeah.
How's the college guy looked at, say, from his fraternity brothers?
Yeah, he's
Don't
a
the
loser.
college guys think he's cool?
No, he's a
Yeah,
loser.
high
That's
school
why he's dating the young girl.
Is it okay to date the high school girl?
No.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know from this perspective as well as you would.
Because I was going to start college the next year.
Well, I know that I personally didn't date any guys. I didn't want to date any of the guys I went to high school with, for sure. And I didn't really start dating until after high school or my senior year because I was like, these boys are stupid and immature. So I think like I was 17 going on 18 and I started dating like a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old or what. I think he was 20 or 21. So he had a job. He was cool. He had a car.
What was his
Right.
job, though? This cool guy. What was his
He,
job?
he was a maintenance guy at a grocery store.
Bag boy.
He's a janitor.
Yeah, he was a janitor. He swept things and changed light bulbs. He did
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Honest work.
But
It's
he
honest
was,
work.
pretty good for a 21-year-old dude, I guess, who didn't have a college education. But it's also kind of rebellious.
I just want to show that there is room in this headset.
No, there's not, because the earbuds are not for my ears, so they keep falling out. Oh, I've got Adam's wax in my ears.
Like a suction gasket.
All right, so anyways, Garrett is finally attempting to give into, he's apologizing to Ashley, and that's when Luke comes in, all triumphant after killing Jeremy. Poor Jeremy. This is the one kill I don't think he anticipated. I think he anticipated getting away with Garrett. What do you guys think?
Oh, like Garrett living and him just being like, look, all you have to do is keep your mouth shut kind of thing.
Yeah, I think he was planning on keeping Garrett around.
Yeah.
Because he actually lost his composure a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely kind of had that vibe. And, and I kind of think that, maybe from like Garrett's point of view, I think he was friends with Luke because like Luke was the rich kid. So he just kind of took advantage of Luke's well-being and whatnot to, hang out at his house, play sweet video games and all that kind of stuff. And just, he probably had a swimming pool, it was good in the summer and all that kind of stuff. He was a friend of opportunity, It's always good to have that rich friend that has a sweet house to hang out at all the time. So.
And a hot mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Garrett will be missed by him.
Well, maybe depending on exactly how much of a sociopath he
Yeah,
is. 'Cause,
you're-
like almost
You're
by the
looking
end
at
of
him
it-
as not as a sociopath, but he is a sociopath. So Garrett
Well-
will be forgotten.
Okay, yeah, no, he forgot, like in that moment,
Yeah.
you could see he was remorseful and he didn't want him to be he didn't want him to die.
Yeah, he didn't intend for him to die, but also I don't know, it was weird. Like I think almost by this point too, and definitely by the end of the movie, like I had that feeling like as a whole, this wasn't Luke's first rodeo, like he had killed the babysitter before or something weird.
Yeah, he did
I don't know.
something
It
weird.
was very quite strange, even though they had established that she had been babysitting Luke since he was like 7 or something. So I don't know, but
Which kind of leads me into my last big question is, why do you think Luke's mom stopped hanging or letting him sleep with her?
I think it
Or
was
like-
because he was 12.
you would hope, but I don't know.
Oh man, I'm just saying, because he has this like weird, he's got disorder, like this sleepwalking disorder and all these different things that he needs to be taken care of, and his little
Allegedly.
womb noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these things allegedly, but
Yeah.
that could just be part of his plan.
Yeah.
Like, was this whole thing, do you think, a ploy to get Ashley for real, or was this whole thing a ploy to get his mom to rock him to sleep again?
I mean, I didn't quite
he-
get the
Yeah.
Oedipal complex from Luke, I would say. I think it was just kind of like a good cover. Like potentially they almost build
Yeah.
Putty as like a beard for Virginia Meth,
Like, imagine-
or the other way, that he was just kind of a little too
Going with the Andy's original thing, like he's done this before. Imagine if their father mysteriously died and they set that up. Then that Oedipus complex would have been
Yeah, then that would-
established.
yeah,
that
be
would have
for
been
sure.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, he looks pretty satisfied when there's all these cops in his house and he's being rocked by his mommy. Like, that's exactly where he wanted to be.
right. But also, was he satisfied because he has a thing for his mom or whatever, or was he satisfied because they don't suspect me? And
I'm leaning
know.
towards the mom thing now.
I'm not. I'm
It
not.
makes it a cooler like.
Like he needed the acceptance and the affection from someone, and he wasn't going to get it from his mom, so he decided to try to go, like, he put it on to Ashley because he could put it on to Ashley, and it was the socially acceptable way to put it on to Ashley. But
In the end, he got it from the mom.
yeah,
I dig that.
what do you guys think?
There need to be more scenes with his mom.
Yeah.
Properly.
It sounds like you're talking from a cave.
Yeah, like I could barely hear.
Yeah, you, Chris.
Yeah, something happened.
You hear me now?
Joe, did you have
Yeah.
any opinion? Oh wait, we got you.
Oh, I mean, I get, I'm kind of jealous you thought about it so deep. Because I just saw it and was like, oh, okay.
That was
Like,
one of my initial thoughts too. Like it didn't take fourth watch for me to come to that conclusion.
yeah. I just, I guess, now that when you spell it out like you are, I mean, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes perfect sense. That at the end of the day, he just wanted his mom to rock him to bed. Little weirdo.
He just had to murder 4 people.
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't seem tore up when he was like, oh, I guess I have to kill her now. And he stabs her in the neck, but he didn't like have any feeling towards it.
Right.
No.
When he had, and he clearly had shown feelings before when he killed Garrett. So if he actually cared, he might have shown something.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. And he
Damn.
does kind of a Home Alone super duper cleanup scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Montage.
Return to normal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah, there's like Home Alone sprinkles.
Yeah.
But what kind of jail time is this 12-year-old getting? Once the girl survives the next stab. What's he doing? I got to go to the
0.
hospital. You think his mom really took him to the hospital? Are you talking about a rich white kid? He is just suffering from affluenza. Is that
Yeah.
rich white kid, 12-year-old? He's not going to jail. He's getting help.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
until I think 25, and then he's probably getting out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
17.
Potentially, yeah. If he doesn't completely lose his shit and kill nurses or something while he's committed, yeah.
Then he becomes the Riddler. No, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
He's a Batman character. Yeah, for sure.
My Nick.
Does anybody have any like unanswered questions or loose ends they want to tie up about this movie?
No.
No.
What do you think happened? Do you think he had to go to the hospital?
What do I think happened?
Did his mom take him to the hospital to go see her?
I think he gets institutionalized, but like fancy, like, like celebrity rehab style institutionalized. He's
Maybe
got
they
a
think.
therapist there and a psychiatrist, and he's got his own like little hotel room basically.
Well, they're probably
But-
going to move too, I would think,
They're gonna have to move, yeah.
one way or another, whether he plays the like traumatized by living in that house from, what happened or something. It's like, yeah, we can move. And
Dad might
They'll
not
find a-
stick around because he's not dealing with that bullshit. And they got a
Yeah.
weird, really close relationship, the mom and the kid. So I think they leave.
Oh, I do have one last minute note that I wrote down on the last viewing.
Mhm.
When they're watching the scary movie at the beginning of the movie, Ashley complains about the movie character going into the attic.
yeah.
And then when
And they-
she's in her own scary movie, she goes into the attic.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do the exact same thing. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah, like-
I watched this with my daughter, and she pretty much figured the movie out. And like whenever she said that about going into the attic, my daughter goes, and watch, she'll go into the attic at some
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
right at the very beginning, when they're like showing the neighborhood setup, this little kid is like building a snowman, and a little boy takes a baseball bat to the snowman's head. And then the little girl chases after the boy and screaming, like, you butthead or whatever at him.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that was some very clear foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So they definitely planted all these ideas early on.
They did a good job
Yeah, I feel like,
covering all the bases.
yeah, that was really well thought out, I think. I think it did not.
Surprised I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
I mean, while it wasn't, you know, and I guess we'll get. I'm getting ahead of. I'm trying to like set up for like a rating system here, but
Oh yeah, go for it.
which
yeah.
is for later. But y- you know, like the movie would be like everything that I'm surprised I've never heard of it. Like nobody's ever talked about it or anything because I mean it's gotten good reviews and
Yeah.
it's not a fantastic movie, but I mean
It's
still kind
memorable.
of the first time you watch it, I think is like when you're just kind of like okay, all right, and the second, third time now that you're not in on the secret.
Yeah.
And I guess that maybe that's the thing. Like, no one ever, I've never heard anyone talk about it. So to me, it was like, just like going into like completely foreign, like, ooh, and like kind of getting caught off guard. I don't think I would ever enjoy it a second time.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
definitely like you need to watch it the first time. So
yeah, I guess kind of like when you see Sixth Sense,
Yeah.
and then you're
So
just like,
you watch it the first
well,
time so you can enjoy it, like just get reactions, and then the second or whatever many times
it's a different movie.
it's a different movie
Yeah.
because then I start analyzing and like I started looking at like, oh, he must have had a timer on those lights and he clicked it or whatever, or
right,
his buddy must have the catapult that Jeremy trips on was when I finally figured out how the
went.
brick got into the window, because I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out the brick in the window the whole time.
okay, yeah, it was,
So-
it was.
But Jeremy
Yeah.
comes through the backyard and he trips right over. He's like, what the fuck is that thing? And I was like, oh, I know what that thing is.
I don't give a fuck about the neighbors. Jeremy
Jeremy was like probably my low-key my favorite character, I think. Because he just had so much going on. It was crucial.
Since I started quoting, I also like the line when he knocks the deer over and he's like, fucking deer.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody else have any like favorite quotes or just like favorite scenes or moments they want to make sure get talked about? Those were all my big questions. Otherwise, I just
Yeah.
have bullshit. Because I watched too much of it, so I could probably
Yeah,
go on for a while.
I feel kind of like ill prepared for this movie because I only did it the one time and my notes I guess like I couldn't want to miss anything,
Yeah.
and I had plans to watch it again, and then that kind of went out the window this weekend. The holidays, I mean, yeah, and then I got all
It was rough.
wound up, running around.
I think so. I'll
And,
just read you a couple of my first reaction. Like my first time watching, I just wrote reactionary comments, and it just changed so dramatically from like the third time I watched it. Because I was like, why does this 12-year-old need a babysitter? How old were you when you stopped needing a babysitter? Because it was definitely under 12 for me.
Yeah, would have been around 12 basically when I was able to stay at home alone.
But they set him up as a special needs.
Yeah, because he got the womb
Sleepwalking.
music.
The womb music and the sleepwalking and stuff. Yeah. They're just enabling him to stay a baby forever. Have you guys ever done any babysitting? Like when you were teenagers or watch over little kids? That weren't just like your siblings, I guess.
My sister used to watch some kids down the street, and then like when she wouldn't be able to, I'd go down and do it.
Yeah.
So like maybe like 3 days of summer,
Yeah.
and then she would just give me that pay out of the check or whatever, But that would be it. No, no, I'm not watching kids. You don't
Because,
want me
like,
to watch your kids.
I did a lot of babysitting when I was young, when I was a teenager and stuff. And doing things like Ashley started doing the laundry for the family and stuff. Like she turned the laundry around in the laundry room and stuff. And that's something like I never did that for whoever I was with. Like I would clean any dishes that I used or prep any food for the kids and stuff like that. But I was never doing extra stuff unless they were requested it and they paid me extra money. So
Right.
they must have had like a really genuinely personal relationship is all I was
Right.
thinking.
Well, I mean, if you were babysitting for the last 5 years for that family, it's possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. I was a camp counselor or something, so like I've done that kind of stuff, which is kind of different from babysitting, but adjacent,
Yeah, it's adjacent.
you know. So
Yeah, I was just like exclaiming, why is she accepting food from strangers? Why is she letting him watch something scary? Like I had a lot of babysitting critique.
but are you really gonna turn down pizza when you're a teenager?
Yeah, if I'm
Weirdo.
supposed to be responsible and I don't know, I didn't order this pizza, I'm gonna verify who ordered that pizza before
I guess at this point in time, she
accept
has
it.
been drinking champagne with a 12-year-old for the past 45
She took
minutes.
one
Right.
swig though.
Right.
We got
You know.
underage drinking, and now they've got
It came from
munchies.
their favorite pizza place, and they were just talking about pizza. So I don't know.
You guys have, yeah, so they got the phone call from no one, right? At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like landlines? You can do *69 and it'll tell you what the number is
Right.
you called from or whatever. And you can call like,
I
It
mean,
was
does anybody
like
remember
that.
doing
Dial
that?
back.
in like
But I mean, you have caller
96.
ID on a cell phone or whatever. So like, if it just comes up restricted, you can't do anything, or number blocked kind of deal thing. Because you could always do like *67 or something to like block your number on caller ID or something crazy.
And then like
Whatever it was back in the-
411 was actually to get some kind of information.
That was just general information. It wasn't like for call tracers or nothing. Like,
We had somebody that was old enough to remember all the keys of the
the internet
landline.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
see Wiz,
Maybe she's a baby. Yeah, she's too young.
what are all the keys on the landline? *69.
*69, I think, was the callback there. I think that was one of the 70s as well, but I forget. But *69, I think mostly black
can't
people
remember.
use that one because you always have the jokes. And I *69 her ass, and that comes from Friday. I don't know if you remember that. I know it's her because I *69 her.
And she hung up again, so that's
Yeah.
how you know it definitely is a callback.
Right.
We did have call waiting.
I don't even know if phones do that anymore.
Only they need to when you have the number pop up.
Yeah, the number comes up on your cell phone. Everything's caller ID.
Hmm.
But back in the day when you did have those landlines and the phone rang, everybody ran to answer it. Like
Yeah.
the kids are running through the house and sliding their socks up to the phone. Now when a phone rings, everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And they look at the number and they throw the I'm not getting that shit. Nobody wants to answer a phone anymore.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
with the front door.
Used to be really
Everybody-
excited about it.
Yeah, let's answer the front door. Who's here? Who's here? Now it's like, what the fuck? And you like look for a
Yeah.
gun. You're like peeking out windows before you answer. It's a lot different.
Video doorbells and such.
Yeah.
So what's next? Do we want to do top fives and
Recast.
recasting and stuff? Are you guys
think I
ready?
would be ready for that. I
I
think that I just okay.
yes.
Let me just I'm going to make a quick comment on the recasting.
Yes.
I don't think it's really fair in this one to do that. Am
Yeah,
I
it was
really? Can I
difficult.
Google middle school actors?
Well, there's other people in the movie you can recast. So like
There's-
I
There's two
avoided
Yeah.
parents.
children's.
There's a pizza driver.
Come on. You went.
Okay.
I didn't
Well,
recast any of the kids. I recasted the boyfriends and the babysitter.
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Let's start with the recasting then. Let's go. You're in my top left corner, Andy.
All right. So my recast for the role of Deandra, or the mother, I went with Jen Coolidge. Robert Lerner, the dad, I went for Michael C. Hall, which kind of works out pretty well as he's Dexter, and this kid was a
Mm-hmm.
pretty big sociopath, so it all kind of
Oh,
works.
okay.
Like I hinted earlier, Jeremy, I got that Zac Efron kind of vibe from, so I put Zac Efron as Jeremy.
Oh, okay.
And then the Carl Urban role is obvious. You make him the pizza guy because I don't want to besmirch the good name of Carl Urban with a movie like this.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Do we want to go with Chris now?
I'm gonna go with the mom, Jennifer Coolidge, Andy. I needed somebody sultry that's always in there, and could have one of those Oedipus, complex relationships like she did with Stifler. All right. Carl Urban. I not too many places to put him. I just put him as the dad. But here's some weird ones I have, and I don't know if you guys know these people.
No.
Ashley, Rachel Lee Cook.
Okay. I said she kind of gave me a Kristen Bell vibe, so if I were to recast her, I would have went that way.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Should be too old, really, but yeah.
But Luke, I picked a kid named Damian Slade, who was Johnny from Better Off Dead. Always wanted his $2. Went as far as flying off of the fucking cliff, yelling, "I want my $2!" And I don't know if you
It's a
remember
good
that one
deep
time
cut. I like it.
he went to the door and asked John Cusack. He's like, "Need my money for the papers," and he's like, "Sorry, Johnny, I ain't got a dime." He's like, "Don't want a dime. I want $2." And he like pulled out that switchblade comb and he like ran it through his hair. So I thought he'd be good.
That's
and then
funny.
his sidekick Garrett, a kid named Stephen Anthony Lawrence. Andy, if you want to look him up, you know who he is. He's been in a lot of PG rated movies. He has no chin. His face is kind of a weird slope. Always has like the bowl cut. They give kids that are supposed to be cute.
That's definitely totally a Garrett. That's the obvious.
And I just for fun, when Ricky, I was going to make him 90210 Luke Perry.
Always going more than you
Rest in
need
peace.
to.
This movie was easy. I could recast the whole movie. There's 7 people.
I felt like if you recasted some of the core cast, you had to recast all of them. It just because they worked so well together. All right. Adam?
All right. I'll just knock off Carl Urban right off the bat. I also did the pizza driver. same reason as Andy. Like I'm not gonna besmirch him. Ashley, I cast it as Sydney Sweeney. She's from Euphoria on HBO.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy, this kid named Colin Ford. He was on a bunch of Supernatural episodes.
Gotcha.
And then for Ricky, I did Tanner Buchanan from Cobra Kai.
Which one is he?
He's Johnny's son.
Oh,
Right. Makes sense.
I almost
Good actor.
I wrote his name down at some point. All right, Joe, your turn.
Hey. All right. I had for the main gal. What's her name again? I always forget.
Ashley.
Ashley. I picked young Amanda Seyfried.
Okay.
Sure. Why not?
Mostly because
She's tiny and blonde.
yes, and she's also done like several like movies like where she gets like screamy and like horror. Wasn't she in like 2 or 3 different horror movies, maybe 2? So I figured she could be a pretty good gal to be in there. She gets kind of scared. Okay, for her boyfriend Ricky, I picked Michael DeLuise. He was in Encino Man. He was the one that like was the bully. He had that, do you know the scene I'm talking about when he
Yeah.
like pops his head around? That dude is Ricky. Uh, Garrett, I'm going to do the fat kid from Stand By Me, Jerry O'Connell, but he's that age. So I'm using him. He's not Jerry O'Connell playing an adult playing a 12-year-old, but he's going to be a fat kid from Stand By Me as Jerry O'Connell. And then and and then Charlie O'Connell, who was in Dude, Where's My Car? Stoner Bashing Time.
Yeah.
He plays the ruffian boyfriend. The one that Jeremy. and I want to change my Carl Urban to the pizza delivery boy.
Oh, just all go pizza delivery boy.
Well, I mean, like I was like, okay, the dad, and then it was like, oh well, shit, it actually was another character in this movie. Yeah, I didn't know.
Could have been a caroler.
I don't know any of these like kids these days or like young actors anymore. I guess I'm just not like up in my
It was
my
hard to think
Tiger
about.
Beat magazines and my pop.
No, I just tried to think of kids in dramatic movies and shows that I'd watched recently. For the most part, I'm like, what is this show? And I would Google the show that I've been watching recently or a movie that I watched recently and then pick kids from there because I was like, at least I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, this was I had a real tough time like trying to like cast like meatheads that I won't want to use later on in movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so I found, let's see, from Cobra Kai for Ricky, I replaced him with the kid that plays Miguel, the Solo Maridena. He has a very, very fun name to say.
Pronunciations.
I'm not that great. Well, it's an X name, and it's really hard to say an X in Spanish.
It's an S sound.
Okay, well, it doesn't make sense to me. And then for Luke, I actually recast him as the star of the Jojo Rabbit movie, the Roman Griffin Davis, because he seemed charming and also he could go creepy like
Good
Luke
fucking
did.
movie too.
Great movie too, by the way. Yeah. And then I replaced Jeremy with Dylan Minnette, who plays Clay in 13 Reasons Why. That like Netflix special or something. I don't know if it was Netflix or what, but it was a special series with all these teenagers. And then, just for the heck of it, I made the carolers Anna Kendrick and Rebel Wilson because I thought that'd be really hilarious.
Sure. Why not?
And then I wanted Carl Urban to be the first responder that yells, "There's one alive down here."
Sure. Good.
Voice
good
cameo. I like it.
So
Yeah.
because I want him to be able to say something.
Sure.
And he's kind of an action guy, so that was as good as I could get for him. I'm glad I didn't pick the pizza guy or the dad.
I will not besmirch Carl Urban.
Yes.
All right, so let's go back around and do our evil children picks.
Yes.
Let's start right up where we were with Andy.
With me. Right. No real order, but my top 5 like creepy whatever kids you want to call it.
It's hard to categorize evil children.
Yeah, more or less.
I did creepy kids.
Yeah, creepy evil, same type deal. One with Damien from The Omen.
Yeah.
Obviously got to put him in there. Guess it's Samara or whatever, the kid from The Ring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Put Luke from this movie in there.
Yeah.
Was not a
Cop out, but anyways.
but I
guess
was just
so.
like, yeah, like this he's up there as far as movies that I've seen and whatnot. Um, Esther from The Orphan,
Yeah.
pretty creepy, evil and whatnot. And then just kind of a weird creepster kid, not necessarily evil, but Denny from The Room. It's kind of creepy, hanging out, like overstaying his welcome and stuff there.
Oh, okay.
About to watch.
I have to watch
have
it.
sex and everything else. It's kind
Cool.
of a creepy kid,
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
All right. What was I think Chris, it's your turn.
Did we want to pick Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, or The Good Son? Could be creepy.
Which one do you want to pick?
Oh, come back to him.
Universal.
I'll do Drew Barrymore from Firestarter.
Okay.
Have you guys watched that
No.
recently? And she
No.
just like stands there and makes those weird eyes and stuff, and then fires start. Yeah, it's just weird. You're just like, oh, this didn't translate as well from the book to film. Isaac Kroner from Children of the Corn. Creepy looking kid.
Yeah.
Angela, played by Felissa Rose in Sleepaway Camp.
Okay.
And one, I'm glad he died, Gage from Pet Cemetery.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Classics.
And then Macaulay Culkin from The Good Son.
Right. All right. Cool. Next is Joe. Was it Joe or Adam? Joe. Let's go here.
I didn't necessarily do like kids that have killed. I just did like kids that like kind of creep me out.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. First we have Gage Creed, Pet Cemetery, that thing. We got Henry Evans in The Good Son.
Okay, yeah.
Reagan McNeil, The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Those creepy twins in The Shining.
Yeah.
And then The Twilight Zone, 1983. Anthony, he was like the kid that could like create. Do you guys remember that little weird
Kind of.
Chris
No.
knows. He would like have like this like alternate, like, I don't know, you could like fuck with people's shit, man. It was crazy. And then I did one extra. This is just an honorable mention. This kid is not creepy in the sense of creepy or killer at all, but he creeps me out like looking at his face.
Okay, no.
And this is
This just gonna be
his name is-
offensive.
his name is Stephen Anthony, and he's in Kicking and Screaming.
Okay.
That kid like creeps me out, like, and I bet you he's turned into a weird looking adult. And that's it. Those are my picks.
Good picks. All solid picks so far.
Yeah, I picked Steve Anthony and Lawrence for Garrett.
Do what?
I picked Steve Anthony and Lawrence for Garrett.
In his
How is
recast.
In his recast.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was in Kicking and Screaming. They was like, hey, when they introduced the Italian kids, he goes, they're butchers, and he's like, "What? The candlestick maker couldn't make it.
Yeah.
All right. Adam, what are your top creepy kids?
Mine in ascending order. Number one was Warren, the ADHD kid in Smoking Aces. I just want to call back one of the movies we watched.
Right.
It's not
Uh,
exactly creepy.
No, he's creepy as fuck. Imagine
It's-
babysitting that guy.
How
he
does
was putting
any-
nunchucks in your face.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Samara from The Ring.
Mhm.
Number 3 are the Grady twins from The Shining. Number 2 is Wednesday Addams from The Addams Family.
Oh,
And number 1 is Henry Evans from The Good Son.
nice call with the Wednesday Addams. I mean, it says it in songs. They're kooky and they're creepy.
Yeah.
They are kooky.
And you could have also tossed in, yeah, you could have thrown in
Pugsley,
Pugsley just for
yeah.
good measure.
just put then Puzzle. We'll just throw them in there. In that case, Maggie from The Simpsons.
Oh,
No, the
She's
unibrow kid from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I've seen enough Halloween Simpsons where Maggie does some scary shit.
Right.
Are there the twins from The Simpsons? Aren't they modeled after the Shining?
Oh yeah, I think they are.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to address your mic issue, Chris, for the next session.
Yeah, it was good up until he did something, and then it got quiet.
Yeah,
It's
a
all
little-
quiet again. All right, so my scary kids.
Well, now it's turned
are-
on. You have it muted.
He knows
Oh.
that.
I can read lips.
All right, so I also chose the Macaulay Culkin character from The Good Son, and I also chose Esther from The Orphan, and I went with the Red Queen from Resident Evil,
Ooh.
which is the character that says you're all going to die down
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay.
That always got me for some reason.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I also picked the kid from The Omen, and then I picked a kid from a Doctor Who episode because it is literally terrifying. It's called The Empty Child, and this kid wears a gas mask and he follows you around during World War II times, and he's just points and shows up and is like, "Are you my mommy?" And that doesn't sound creepy, but it's one of the most terrifying Doctor Who episodes I've ever seen in my life. And there's some really scary ones. So those were my picks.
Okay. I always enjoy your top 5.
It's very
I
different.
do because
Yeah.
you come with some crazy stuff.
Well,
I like
'cause
it.
I don't watch enough stuff to watch in all the mainstream
Yeah,
stuff.
I think you're like yeah. I kind of know where Adam's going to be on his top 5, or where
Yeah.
Andy or Chris, like just knowing the guys as long as I have, and we've probably seen all of these movies.
Yeah. I feel like no matter what we've watched or what we've reviewed, I've been able to get you guys all to go, oh, to at least one of my answers.
Yeah.
I try to modernize my picks without being too hot take-ish.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I just know I go with what I know. And what I know is nerdy shit. Like
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Right.
All right. Well, that was Better Watch
Nope.
Out, guys.
Movie-
We got to do the ratings now.
Ratings, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. What is it? It's a 1 to 10. You can do half points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
All right. Let's go back in our. Who wants to go first? Joe wants to go. Yay.
All right. Good movie. It's okay. It was good. It was good. It was a good one-time watch. I'm gonna give it a 6. That's it. 6. Yeah, there was some stuff that take it or leave it, but I mean, like it was a good movie, a good one-time watch. If somebody asks me like, "Hey man, what's a good movie like that f's with your head?" I'm not gonna. This isn't gonna be the first one that I say.
Mhm.
This would be like maybe number 6 on that list.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, boom, there you go.
All right.
6.
Who's next? Raise your
Can you hear me?
notebook or something. Yeah, I can hear you. Go for it.
I'm going to give it a 7, just
7.
because I couldn't predict where it was going. And I
Yeah.
liked it, and I never heard of it, and I'm glad it was kind of refreshing. I just wish I would have known what happens at the end. I wish there would have been like, I don't like happy endings.
Oh.
Somebody
See-
lived.
All right. So I did try to look. It's been told that there was an end of credit scene, and I have not been able to find it, by the way. But
Yeah.
there's a supposed end of credit scene where the kid asks his mom if they can visit Ashley in the hospital or not, or something
Yeah.
or other.
Right.
I don't think that was into credits.
A couple like weird spots on the internet
Because I
said
saw
that it
it.
existed.
Yeah, I
I
want to say.
so we need to go. I need to see her. I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to visit her in the hospital.
Yeah, that's like
what
at
I'm
the
asking.
And
So-
like after she goes into the ambulance or whatever, Yeah, it's like a little bit after that. It's like as the credits are about to roll or something. It's
When you hear
last-
Carl Urban scream,
Yeah.
you know, got a live one or whatever.
Yeah.
That's when he starts telling his mom he's got to go visit her.
I don't know. I missed it. It sounded like there was an end of credit, but whatever. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
7 from Chris. Okay, Adam? Yeah.
I like the movie. I'm not a big horror guy, like I've said before. So the fact that there wasn't no gratuitous gory killings and stuff, I dug. Everything about the movie, I like how it was a nice, neat little package. How there's no continuity errors that were overtly there. So I really dig how neat this whole movie, all the twists and turns. I dug it. So I'm giving it a solid 7.
Good. 7. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't really a fan of it. Didn't care for it. Various reasons. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh, wait, no, I want to know why you don't like it that much now.
I'll
Because
tell you
nobody
why.
really said why they didn't like things.
Because he's always giving things super high ratings, and somebody said something to him the last time about it, and now he's like overcompensating.
Yeah.
Pretty
No, I
sneaky,
thought it-
sis.
Yeah. I just
No,
wasn't
I wanna-
I was rather just kind of turned off by this kid being like, you know, a sociopath and sexually assaulting this poor
So-
girl and everything else. It was just kind of like, I wasn't into it. And like
That
kind
tells
of
me-
when like that started shifting, like I was pretty turned off by the movie. I'm like, I don't like this, you know, the sexualization of kids and whatnot else. I'm like, yeah, no, not into it. So give it a 4,
That's fair. But that tells me that the movie did its job really well.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, like it was
It did
you
what
know,
it intended to do.
put together well.
I
There's
do
the
know what
normal,
I do
like-
know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
so do
yeah.
I. Yeah,
that you know it is off-putting
Yeah.
to you know, yeah, like this kid's 12 years old, and
Yeah.
like it's his intention to
Talking about Princess Bubblegum and what she tastes like and stuff.
Yeah.
like is he
Yeah. It's not like a dark.
is the
comedy
ultimate
by
game
any-
here to like
Yeah.
make out with this chick to for her to like fall for him and you know and then have sex, or is it sexual assault the whole time? Like I'm like
Yeah.
and then like it kind of like blurs the line of like if at the end if it's like I'm just gonna rape this chick and kill her, you know what I mean? Like obviously for anyone that hasn't seen the movie and you're still listening to this and now you know
Why?
all the now you don't know now you don't even need to know now you don't even need to watch the movie, but I mean that he does not sexually assault. Well, yeah, I guess he does by some
Yeah.
state standards. You can't grab a chick's breast and like was it over the shirt? It was under the shirt because they
It was,
didn't show
over,
it
it
on
was
the
over the shirt,
Yeah,
but
he
like
was-
if you look at like the angle and everything else, the way they did that, like it's like he's grabbing like above her shoulder. So it's,
Yeah.
you know, like it was mimed out kind of bad. It was weird like that.
yeah.
Too, like, you know, which
so-
I guess mildly redeeming, but at the same time, then they feel like they also showed him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And
No,
I thought it was
get
kind of weird that like and rarely do you see like a kid getting killed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, and
I thought about that. I was like, Garrett just got shot. Like he's dying and he's
yeah,
dying
I
on
guess
camera.
they didn't show the kill shot. But they showed him, you know,
Yeah, it
like
was
the,
kind
the
of
shot that
off
like
camera,
blew him
and then
across
you
the,
see him
the
like,
room.
yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that must have been hard for him at his age to do something like that. For all of these kids to do this movie.
And I was, and I, the reason I even brought that up is because like there's in my research on like creepy kids and stuff,
Yeah.
and in cinema, and then like the kid from Pet Cemetery was actually like you know like he was killed in the movie or whatever, but they rarely and it was like a big thing when the movie came out that they were you know they even had that in there to begin with because I mean it was you know, kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
so even that had yeah because you never see a kid
Yeah.
get killed.
It's kind of one of the cardinal rules, like you don't kill kids in a movie generally, unless you're really trying to demonize like the villain kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
don't know
I
about
totally
the-
understand that.
Your microphone.
Can't hear him.
I say like the first time I went under the, had the under the shirt thing was I was about 12 or 13, and her hands were cold. So
Ooh,
Oh
ooh.
my god.
I want him first.
I love it. Awesome sauce. I think I have to do my rating now. So I do think the movie achieved what it was supposed to do. I thought these kids did some really great acting, and I was entertained by it all the way throughout. So I'm definitely, it's a hard movie to place because it doesn't like stick to a particular genre. Like you're not gonna be like recommending it for general horror film or general holiday film or general suspense. Like it kind of plays with a bunch of things. So it's more dark comedy, I guess, in some ways. So it's hard to recommend it. So I'm gonna give it a solid 7, because if it comes an applicable time to recommend it, I won't hesitate to, because I did enjoy the whole movie and I think it was really well done. And like what Andy was saying about how like and all of you were saying about like sexualizing children and killing children on camera and stuff, to me, because of the context of it, it made sense. And they were very careful for the most part to not completely overstep boundaries. So for me, it made sense enough, the things that they did to drive the story, and they never went farther than they had to make the story move. So that's when I get really upset, when movies will like show rape for the sake of shock value and kind of things like that. That's when I draw the line. But this, like, I can imagine a 13-year-old boy pranking, like truth or daring his buddy.
Right. Yeah, there's believable parts of other stuff that's...
So like there's that stuff. So for me, like it worked for me. But I get how it is weird and it could make a lot of people uncomfortable. So it's recommendable. All right.
Cool.
Anything else? Last thoughts?
I'm good.
You're good.
I want to see the sequel.
Want to see
trial.
the sequel? Yeah, I'm like, what happens after this?
Better watch out too. The trial. Trial of the century.
They did not make enough money to get to a number 2. I found some online commentary and stuff on like the different movie websites about how there was the idea for a number 2, but they could just never gain enough traction. Like, you guys are like self-proclaimed movie buffs and you've never heard of it. So it just is one of those movies that kind of snuck
25 theaters is pretty...
It's really small.
It's a small release, though at the same time, it's probably not... It's probably
they only
pretty
did
good
it
for
in
a
major
$3 million
cities.
budget. Like, that's not bad, because it does take a bit to get the movies in theaters. So
Yeah. All right. You who are we spinning for this time? Joe, right?
Are we doing the next movie first or the wheel first?
What do you mean?
All right. Chris, give us your genre and your choice.
Well, my genre was 90s action.
Yay.
Do you guys want to guess at Chris's choice?
No.
Let's not. Let's talk about what movies came out.
Can you make
And
it
since
big
this is
again?
Seamen on film, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm all right. Under Siege came out in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about my favorite movie of all time, Point Break.
Yeah.
That came out in the 90s. Speed came out in the 90s.
right.
Pick Speed. Pick Speed.
Tombstone.
90s were
Alright.
great. 90s
Yeah.
were great.
Armageddon came out.
96.
Falling Down.
96.
I love
95,
falling down.
Oh, Twister. Let's not forget Twister.
96.
Bill Paxton.
Ish.
How about Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Yeah.
Terminator 2 was 90 or 91, I believe.
Yeah,
91?
right around there, I want to say. Yeah.
91.
One of my favorite underrated movies, The Crow,
Yep.
also came out.
Great movie.
Days of Thunder.
Great. Yep.
I don't know that
Classic.
one.
I don't know how to present anything better than maybe this.
No.
What is
can you
it?
that? Let's enjoy Andy's guitar playing.
Right.
Fast forward.
No, he's just said, oh, wait a minute.
Arnold. Okay, we're getting Arnold.
Is this True Lies? Oh,
Action
yeah.
Hero.
Are you guys kidding me?
Have you?
Great
I've never
soundtrack,
watched
by the
it.
way. Which I remember buying that for like $2 at like Cool Stuff or something here.
I'm assuming you've all seen it, right?
Good movie.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theaters.
It's been so long.
Oh
yeah.
my God, really?
I was a kid.
You know, this
I've
movie-
never seen it, so that'll
Really?
be fun for me.
My critics.
You're in for a treat, I'll tell you that much.
I love Arnold movies.
Is that what we're watching?
We're watching Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero.
Homework
Where?
assignments. You guys ready to write these down? I have a few
A few what?
homework assignments.
You
for
can
this
only
movie.
do one.
No, I'm only
No.
doing one of them.
No. Oh, we had a few homework.
Oh, there's extra credit.
Absolutely not.
The top 5 list is going to be top 5 henchmen in movies.
Okay.
And then you're going to give your best movie death.
Like
Best.
scene?
Overall, out of all movies, pick one death.
Right. So let's just say somebody
Commando
shot-
Death by Pipe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that.
Okay,
And then
I'm
I
going
wanna
with
say-
paint cans.
my mother worked at Walmart for 30 years of her life. And, you know, when I was in high school, that's when the grunge explosion happened,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay.
And one day, you know, my mom knew what kind of music we all listened to. So one day she brings home the soundtrack to this movie, Last Action Hero.
Great
And
sound.
my favorite Alice in Chains song is on that soundtrack. And it had 2 great Alice in Chains songs, I'm sorry. And it also had Megadeth.
Who
Yeah.
is Alice in Chains?
Um,
What are you,
Is that a serious
12?
question?
I'm just kidding with you.
oh, okay. Okay.
I just
I'm like,
wanted
what?
to get
What do
Chris
you-
with his own medicine.
There's an AC/DC song on that soundtrack too. I believe.
AC/DC, what we just heard, Big Gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check the
Okay.
hell out of you. So give me your favorite movie soundtrack. I mean, there's some great ones out there. There's Top Gun. There is Footloose. You know, there's
do things like musicals count?
yes. If you
Okay,
like
I don't-
Les Mis, you know,
Just wondering, because
Rent or whatever, or
Yeah,
something
Aladdin.
like Hamilton. Just that's it. Because
Awesome.
this movie gave me
okay,
a
that's
nice
not
memory.
as difficult as I thought it was gonna be. I thought we were gonna have like 4 top 5s, and I was like, no,
It's
no, no.
just, you know, my mom brought this home one day as a gift to me. She's like, hey, I found this today. I thought you'd like it. And I did. It was an awesome soundtrack, and I ended up having my favorite
Oh,
Alice
you know
in
what's a
Chains.
good one? Rio.
Are you
The
messing
kids-
with us?
No, I am not messing with you.
Is the Duran Duran song Rio on it?
Oh, her name is
No, but I
Rio
have it
and
memorized,
she
by the way.
All right, Joe. Joe, you're next, right?
Good Joe.
Yeah, man.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Are you spinning or do I spin?
I'm spinning.
Okay, spin away, man. Kansas Classics, 1938. Okay, Wizard of Oz.
What about the movie Kansas?
Oh my God, you got a great one.
Free for all. Nice. 80 to
Is it
89.
wait? Is that two free? You can pick whatever you want,
Well,
right?
yeah, whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be in the same genres we've been the three main genres. You could
You
be
can
Be
pick whatever
anything
you
I
want
want.
from the
Anything I want.
80s.
Yay.
pumping
Nice.
iron.
That's pretty cool.
Predator.
I'm gonna have to write this down. Make sure you got that.
Anything from the 80s were kind of horrible, kind of wonderful.
And Joe, the movie Kansas came out with little Andrew McCarthy and Matt Dillon, right?
He's gonna try so hard to work Kansas into this.
I'd tell you what I'd love to, but
Do like a cool sci-fi or
well, hey
Let's all
man.
tell you what we want.
You're right.
We're gonna pay you off. We're all
I
gonna be
guess
like,
I'll
"Eh."
just start by looking up every single movie that came out in that decade, and then, man,
Yeah.
whew, that's gonna be a fun one.
yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
It better be a
What-
good one.
The tough part will be picking a movie, basically, is really
Yeah.
the challenge here.
I know. Well, yeah, because I mean, it's literally every movie in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
so
not
much
gonna lie,
easier
I
than
was-
the 2010s. Because I tell you what, that was awful.
I'll tell you, it was. I'm glad that I ended up with. I'm glad that two other people got horror before I did, because
Yeah.
there was about zero chance that I would have had a good time with that. That's a tough one.
It's
That's a tough one. You guys
awful.
did great. I thought
Especially
everybody did
back
great.
to
You know.
back, Yeah.
Like I'm super nervous about having to like try to like advance a conversation when it's my turn to host, but
Yeah,
You
that's
figure it out.
tricky.
you know,
I was just like, let's walk through the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do, huh?
I know.
I mean, you try to
First
want
show
to
to
keep, I
run.
guess, like some timeline established. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I tried to do was keep a timeline, but
Free for all, and we got Last
Awesome.
Action Hero to watch. And let's go back to that Last Action Hero thing. Where can I? Was that on HBO Max?
It's on
Oh, yeah.
Netflix. You can get it from Amazon. You can buy it from Amazon. Obviously, I'm gonna see if I can find a used copy or something around locally, and then I'm
As
gonna
you
buy it.
see, it's a permanent fixture on my DVR.
So it's on it's on Netflix and it's on.
Amazon, yeah, you can rent it for like $3 or something or
Okay,
whatever.
what have I already paid for that it's on? HBO Max or Netflix?
it says you can do it on
according to
Netflix.
All right,
You
Netflix.
can watch it on Netflix.
I might just watch this movie as my go to sleep movie for like the next month.
IMDb. Yeah, right.
It's
just-
action. Won't it pump you up and get you right? No.
It's,
But it's
the
also that
last
thing you've
action
seen.
hero. It's
I
not like
have
the
no-
first one.
I literally have no idea what this is about. So
Oh, you're gonna have oh, I'm jazzed for you. There's a lot of stuff going on in this. This is a good movie. I like it.
All right. I'm gonna end it and we could take this conversation offline. But
Oh, yeah.
All right.
stick around. Next month, we know you know what you got. Last Action Hero, moderated by Chris, aka Sea Wiz, I guess.